Hi everybody, it's Kylara and I've come today to do a little craft with me video. This is just a little booklet that I have made from a traditional lunch sack, and you can get these anywhere at your dollar stores, Walmarts, grocery stores, wherever. So this is what we'll be making. I just tied mine with a little bit of sari silk, and this is the front cover, and this is the opening of the lunch sack, so it is a pocket. We open it up and there's a booklet with stamped images in the corner. In the middle we have another pocket where I just placed my tea bag paper clip and a little to and from. This one's going to go to my neighbor, and another little notepad on this side, and this is the back. So let's get to it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to glue the flap, the bottom flap of your paper sack. You're going to glue this so that it's closed. Now you can glue it just at the top and the bottom, and that would give you a little bit of a tuck spot, but I personally am not going to do that since I'm putting a little notepad on this. So I am going to glue. I am using the Tombow Monoliquid Glue Blue, and I am just going to put a bead of glue here, a bead of glue across the top, down, and then just a swirl in the middle. And we're going to hold that down. And that will glue that shut. So in the meantime, I'm going to give you the dimensions. So the covers, you're going to cut, while this dries, you're going to cut 4 pieces that are going to be 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So you're going to need 4 pieces, 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And for each sack you're going to need 2 pieces of 3 by 4 3/4. So I cut mine up, and then I gave mine a bit of an ink. I'm using Vintage Photo. You could use whatever color you'd like. And I've done most of them already. I am doing multiple batches of these for gifts for my neighbors and friends, and to put into some of my journals. So I am doing a mass make this evening. So you just ink it up. You only need to ink the one side because it's going to be glued to the sack, so nobody will see the behind. So you're just going to give this a quick ink, however you like to ink yours. You don't have to ink it either. It's all up to you. So those are done, and I've already just inked the smaller set. So this should be good and dry now, so we're going to fold it. And we're going to grab our bone folder, and we're going to make sure that crease is really crisp. Next, we're going to grab this piece, and we're going to fold it to the edge. Sorry if my head is in the way, I'm not sure if it is. And we are going to, yes, crease again with that bone folder. So here is the base of our little book. Now, I have been using just double-sided tape. You can choose to use an ATG gun, you can choose to use glue, you can choose to use a glue stick. It doesn't matter. I am going to be using my double-sided tape, and in the middle of that I'm going to use a little bit of the monoliquid aqua glue. So I'm just grabbing a cover piece, and I wanted this for one of my covers. And I'm just going to get as close to the edge as possible without going over, and rip. It's hard for me to stay in frame at times. I usually craft much closer to myself than when I'm on a video, so it does take me a little while. I'm sorry if you haven't been able to see something. I'm getting better the more videos I do. I've put a little mark on my paper here to denote where you can't see anymore. So hopefully that will help. So then I just run my bone folder over the double-sided tape to make sure that it's really stuck down well. It also helps to get rid of wrinkles if you have any in there. Next, I peel back the layers of double-sided tape. And sometimes this can be a bit of a bear. And if you are like me and you have a little bit of the double-sided tape hanging over, all you have to do is grab it and fold it, push it forward to be on the other glue. So there, it has the double-sided tape. I'm just going to grab my monoliquid glue and just put a very small amount of glue in the middle. And this piece, which is the 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, goes right here on the cover. Try and center it up as much as you can, because once you put it down with double-sided tape, it is down. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a burnish here just to get that glue flat. So there we have our cover. Next, we're going to grab another paper, and I'm going to put it here, here, oops, here, here, no, sorry, here, here, here is the small one. So the small one measures 3 by 4 3/4. And you're going to put another one of the small ones on the back here. Okay, so we're going to put 2 big ones, a small one, and a big one on the very, very back. So again, these 2 are big. This one on the right hand side is the small one, big one. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back, and I have all the papers glued the way they're supposed to be glued. And next we're going to do the pocket. So for the pocket, I just put a piece of paper, that one of the offcuts from one of the pages that we used, and I made sure it was even here and on the bottom. And I just gave a little nick in there with my pencil, and we're going to cut right across And now you can, let's just ink that edge, that raw white edge, all around. I'm out of frame again. What's new, right? And so we're just giving this a little bit of an ink. And then we're going to turn it upside down, get your 1-inch punch gathered where your middle would be, and just do a little notch out. And of course we need to come in and give that a little ink. That looks good. And this, I used my glue again, and we're going to go around the side, the bottom, and the side, and that creates our little pocket. There we go. Just press that down gently so you don't squeeze any of the glue out, but you want to make sure that it sticks. So now we're going to need to do a little bit of measuring. So I basically went in from the corner 1 1/4 of an inch, and give that a little mark right into the crease. And again, we're going 1 1/4. That doesn't look right. Let me just double check this one. 1 1/4. That looks a little better. Now I'm going to use my crocodile. And I'm using the small 1/8 of an inch hole. And I'm eyeballing to hit that where we marked it with the pencil. Right on the crease. Then we are going to get our inserts, and I used 8 pages, and I got 4 lined and 4 graph grid. So all I did was put my papers and separated them. So there's lined, grid, lined, grid, lined, grid, lined, grid. We're going to fold these in half, like so. Sorry if you hear my puppy in the background. She's starting to get a little antsy and probably wants a little bit of my attention. So I'm just going to quickly do this, and then I'll pause the camera. And so we're going to fold these all in half, and then we will measure these. And if you're smart, unlike myself, you would poke the holes after and do it all at once, which I did the first time but have forgotten this time. So rather than punching those holes right away, if you fold these first and then punch the holes with the papers in place, then you're only punching once. So I'm going to fold my papers and I will be back. Okay, so my puppy is settled a little bit. I played with her for a little while. So all I've done is I put my I have my papers, which are cut to 4.5 by 6.5. I have grid lined, and I have 8 papers in each booklet. Next, you're going to butt the papers up against the fold, clip. Again, make sure that they're up against the fold and clip. What this will do, wait a second, mine's not even. The papers are moving a little. Okay, and so next what we're going to do, since we messed up, please in the future in doing this, just do it as one step. So I'm going to try and get my crocodile directly in the holes that I punched earlier and through the papers. So I didn't get exactly, but that's okay. And I didn't get exactly, but it's okay. Next, I'm going to grab a little bit of baker's twine. 1, 2, and a bit. And I'm going to thread my needle. I'm going to give this one try on camera. If it doesn't go through, then I am going to pause it until I get it through. Okay, pausing. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got it threaded, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through one of the holes, leave a bit of a tail, go through the second hole. You're going to pull up and try and get an even amount on each side. Tie a knot. This, once I tie my knot, I turn it sideways. Turn it sideways and tie the second knot and cut the strings, and we have one part of our notebook done. We have our pocket finished. All we have left to do is this pocket here, or this booklet here. We are going to need to cut some of the remnants from the papers that we cut earlier. I'm just going to be using graph paper for this notebook, and what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this at 2 3/4 and 4 1/4. I'm going to do that with my cutter, and I'll be back. You can cut as many sheets as you'd like for your little notepad. So I now have 4 papers. They're all grid line papers, measuring 2 3/4 and by 4 1/4, and we're going to attach it here. And for this one, we are going to measure in 3/4 of an inch on each side. Let's make sure that that's centered the way I want it to be. I am going to clip it at the bottom so that it stays still for me. So let's just do a little measuring. So 3/4 of an inch here. 3/4 of an inch here. And that's where we're going to punch our holes with a crocodile or any hole punch that you can use or that you have at home. Should work fine. So then we have our holes, and we do the exact same thing we did before. 1, 2, and a little bit. And again, I get to play with my needle, and hopefully I can do this one on camera without feeling like a fool, since the head on this needle is so large. I shouldn't have any issues whatsoever, but I do. Oh, I've almost got it. Nope. Not happening on that end. Try one more time on camera, and then I'm going to turn it off and start again. Oh, I got it. So again, we're going to go through, up through the second hole. Make sure that the ends are rather even. And we're going to tie a knot here. And we're going to turn it on the side, and hopefully this time it'll work better. Well, looking a little weird right at the moment. See, that looked weird. Okay, there's our little knot. Cut our ends about the same, and voila, we are finished. All we have left to do is, if you choose to, I did it on my first page, or my first booklet, is I stamped a little image on the papers. This time I'm going to stamp a little date stamp on each of the pages, and I'll do it once so that I can show you. There is my little date stamp. So I'm going to put those on the tops of the pages, and then you can tie it together with anything of your choice. I'm going to use sari silk for mine. So here's a piece of sari silk. All I did was wrap it around, come up, and tie a bow. Voila! And our book is finished. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, even though it was a bit of a bubbling mess. I'm still getting used to doing things on camera and talking my way through something. And as you saw tonight with your very own eyes, I do make mistakes at times, and I hope you'll bear with me, and I hope you enjoyed this book. If you did, please leave me a comment in the links below, or in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.